Imagine sitting down for your CELPIP speaking test feeling completely calm. You've prepared with the right strategies, you know what the examiners want to hear, and you're ready for every task. When your results arrive, you see the score you worked so hard for. That kind of confidence doesn't happen by accident. It comes from understanding what each speaking task tests and applying the strategies that help you perform at your best. This is the approach candidates use inside our CELPIP packages. They discover how strategic preparation can make a real difference in their results. In this video, you'll get 10 tips for all 8 CELPIP speaking tasks. You'll also discover how to start applying those techniques. If you're ready to study smarter, stay tuned. By the end of this video, you'll know how to prepare for the CELPIP speaking test with focus and confidence. Tip number 1 is to know the scoring criteria. Before you can improve your speaking score, you need to understand exactly how your responses are assessed. The CELPIP speaking test uses 4 scoring criteria: content and coherence, vocabulary, listenability, and task fulfillment. Each one carries equal weight in your final score. Content and coherence refers to how well your ideas are organized and developed. Your response needs a clear structure with relevant points and enough detail to fully address the task. Vocabulary refers to the range of words and phrases you use and how accurately and naturally you use them. Listenability refers to how easy it is to understand your spoken response. It covers things like rhythm, pronunciation, and sentence variety. Task fulfillment refers to how well you followed the instructions, whether your response was the right length, and whether your tone was appropriate. When you understand these 4 criteria, you know exactly what to focus on during your preparation. You're not practicing randomly. You're targeting the areas that the examiners are actually assessing. The second tip is specific to task 1, giving advice. In this task, give at least 3 suggestions and support each one with a practical reason or example. Many candidates give 1 or 2 ideas and then repeat them using different words. This doesn't show the examiner that you can develop your ideas fully. Instead, aim for 3 distinct suggestions, each with its own reason or detail behind it. Start by acknowledging the person's situation so they know you understand what they need. Then move through your suggestions using clear transitions. Don't say also for every new point. Instead, use a variety of transitions such as if I were you. Another thing you could consider is, and one final piece of advice I'd give you is, each suggestion should feel like a new, useful idea. Giving 3 well-developed suggestions with specific support can help your content and coherence score and your task fulfillment score. Another very important tip is to use speaking templates and sentence starters. Templates give you a ready-made structure for each task, so you don't have to think about how to start or how to organize your response from scratch. This frees up your mental energy so you can focus on the content of your answer. For task 1, use a sentence starter like, I completely understand your situation and I have a few suggestions that might really help. This starter lets you jump straight into your advice without hesitating. For task 5, use a phrase like, I understand you're considering that option. However, I believe my choice is a stronger one for a few key reasons. This phrase sets up your argument clearly. For task 7, use an opener like, that's a really interesting question, and I do have a clear view on this. This sentence starter gives you a confident start before you present your reasons. Sentence starters that include advanced vocabulary and natural expressions can also help your vocabulary score. This is because they show the examiner that you can use a range of language right from the beginning of your response. Now, here is an important point. Many CELPIP candidates think that knowing a few speaking tips is enough to achieve a strong result, but it is not enough. To do well in CELPIP speaking, you need to understand what the examiners are looking for. For example, you need to use advanced grammar and vocabulary correctly and understand what makes a high-scoring response. That's exactly what we teach in our CELPIP packages. Our students get step-by-step guidance on how to give strong responses, so they feel confident and ready on test day. They learn how the CELPIP examiners assess their performance and what they need to do to meet the scoring criteria. Our CELPIP packages include lessons for all tasks, sample answers, mock tests, templates, and much more. Click the link below to learn more. Tip number 4 is specific to task 5, comparing and persuading. In part 1 of this task, use the preparation time to choose the option you can argue best. Many candidates choose the option they personally prefer. That approach can work, but a better approach is to look at both options and decide which one gives you more to say. Read the information provided for each option carefully and ask yourself which one has stronger reasons behind it. In part 2, your job is to persuade the other person that your option is better than theirs. Don't simply list the features of your option. Compare the two options directly. Acknowledge the other person's suggestion first, and then explain clearly why your choice is a stronger one. Use specific language to support your argument and expand on the details given in the image. This approach can help your content and coherence score because your response is more developed and more persuasive. The 5th tip is to give specific details and examples. One of the biggest differences between a low-scoring response and a high-scoring one is the level of detail. Low-scoring responses tend to be vague. High-scoring responses give clear, specific information that makes the answer feel real and complete. This applies across all the tasks. In task 1, for example, don't just say, "You should find a place to live." Instead, you can say something like, "I'd recommend spending some time researching different neighborhoods in the city." For instance, you might look at areas near your workplace that also have good access to public transit, since this can save you a lot of time each day. Now, in task 3, where you describe a scene, don't just say, "There are some people in a park." Instead, try saying something like, "In the foreground, a woman in a red jacket is sitting on a bench reading a book while 2 children are playing nearby." Both examples show how specific details make your response more developed and more complete. This kind of detail can make a real difference to your content and coherence score. Let's move on to tip number 6, which is specific to task 7, expressing opinions. Decide your position during the preparation time and stick to it. Task 7 asks you, do you think questions? And you need to give a clear answer supported by reasons. Many candidates spend too much time speaking before they actually state their position, or they change their view partway through. Both of these weaken your response. During the preparation time, decide whether your answer is yes or no, and choose 2 or 3 reasons that support that position. When you start speaking, state your position clearly within the first few sentences. Then move through each reason in a logical order, using transitions such as "to begin with," "in addition," and "finally." Support each reason with a specific detail or example. Task 7 gives you 90 seconds to speak, so there is enough time to develop each point well. A clear position, 3 supported reasons, and good transitions can help your content and coherence score, and your task fulfillment score. Here is a tip that applies to every single task in the speaking test. Use the preparation time to plan your response. Every speaking task gives you preparation time before you start recording. This is one of the most valuable moments in the test. Many candidates don't use this time well. They sit there waiting to speak, or they try to write out a full sentence. That is not the best approach. Instead, use that time to quickly decide what your main points will be and in what order you'll say them. In task 2, where you talk about a personal experience, use the preparation time to identify the experience you'll describe. Pinpoint the key moment in the story and how you felt about it. In task 4, where you make predictions about an illustration, use the time to look carefully at the image. Think of 2 or 3 things that might happen next based on what you can see. A quick mental plan like this means that when the recording begins, you already know what you're going to say. You won't hesitate, lose your place, or repeat yourself. This can make a noticeable difference to your content and coherence score. By the way, if you want this channel to keep going, write yes in the comments. Click like and subscribe. We only make videos that you actually want to watch. Now, let's continue with 3 more essential tips for CELPIP speaking. We'll continue with tip number 8. Use complex grammar to show your range. Many candidates speak in very simple sentences. There's nothing wrong with simple sentences, but relying on them heavily can limit your listenability score. High-scoring candidates mix simple sentences with more complex structures. This variety makes their responses sound more advanced and natural. Complex sentence structures include things like subordinate clauses, conditional sentences, and relative clauses. In task 2, for example, instead of saying, "I was nervous, I gave a presentation, everyone liked it," you could say, "Although I was nervous before the presentation, I felt much more confident once I started speaking, and the positive feedback from the audience made the experience really rewarding." The second version is more fluent and shows a much wider range of grammar. You don't need to force complex grammar into every sentence. Just aim to vary your sentence structures naturally throughout your response. The next tip is something that can make a real difference to your score. Using a wide range of vocabulary. If you use the same words and phrases repeatedly throughout your responses, the examiners will notice. This repetition can affect your vocabulary score. High-scoring candidates vary their word choices throughout their responses. They avoid overusing basic words like good, bad, a lot, or I think. Instead, they draw on a wider range of more advanced expressions. This matters in every task. For example, in task 6, where you need to explain a difficult decision to someone, don't say, "I can't help you because I'm busy." Instead, you could say, "Unfortunately, I'm unable to assist you at this time due to a prior commitment that I'm not in a position to reschedule." The second version uses more advanced vocabulary and sounds much more appropriate for the situation. When the examiner hears that you can express yourself in different ways across different tasks, it shows that your vocabulary range is strong. This can help your vocabulary score. Our final tip is one that many candidates overlook. Match your tone to the task. Not all CELPIP speaking tasks use the same tone, and using the wrong tone can affect your task fulfillment score. For tasks 1 and 2, the tone is warm and personal, as though you're talking with a friend or family member. For task 5, you're persuading someone, so your tone should be confident but respectful. For task 6, you're dealing with a difficult situation, so you need to be considerate and firm at the same time. For task 7, you're expressing your opinion, so your tone should be clear and direct. In task 8, you describe an unusual item or scene to someone over the phone, so your tone should be natural and conversational, as though you're really on a call. Many candidates begin task 8 with a statement that sounds too formal for this task. To sound more natural, you can try saying something like, "Hey, so I'm looking at this thing right now and I'm not sure how to describe it, but I'll do my best." That kind of opening sets up the role play naturally and helps your task fulfillment score. Paying attention to tone across all 8 tasks is an easy way to pick up marks you might otherwise leave behind. That's it. These are 10 tips for CELPIP speaking tasks 1 to 8. If you want expert guidance for your CELPIP preparation, check out our CELPIP packages using the link below. Our packages include step-by-step guidance, sample answers, mock tests, templates, and other useful resources to help you feel confident on test day. I hope you liked this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so you're notified when the next video comes out. Also, share this video with your friends so they can improve their CELPIP score too. See you in the next video!